Good morning. It's 9 a.m. in Brazil, so it's a pleasure talking to you now. First of all, I want to thank the World Association for Disaster and Emergency Medicine. They have given me the opportunity to be here talking to you, and I really believe on the importance to join colleagues from different realities and sharing our own experience. I am very excited to be with you here right now, because I know I am almost people that have the same aim, that are interested in the same subject. What is to be well prepared to be part of a successful team that face a crisis and emergency. Your experience and knowledge is very important for us in Brazil, and I hope I can spread our hours to help you. Well, I'm going to talk about a tragedy that unfortunately occurred in my hometown. So let's start. Mass casualty event response to Kiss Nightclub in Santa Maria, Brazil. On January 27, a fire started at Kiss Nightclub in Santa Maria. Santa Maria is located in the southernmost state in Brazil, in a central area, 274 kilometers away from Porto Alegre, that is the capital city of the state. Our state is Rio Grande do Sul. Santa Maria is a medium-sized city which holds 5 university centers, a national air force, and a military base. It's important to stress that Santa Maria, as many university cities, has thousands of students living there, as well as young people and their families. Additionally, Santa Maria is also a military army base and an important Air Force base. They have given us an incredible and invaluable support and a lot of help. Well, here you can see the National Air Force that is located about 15 kilometers from the center of Santa Maria. As you can see here, we have a plan of Kiss Nightclub. Quote showing there was only one exit, no fire alarm, no clear marked signs to the only one exit, an ignited polyurethane foam that was for acoustic insulation. Well, I'm going to tell you a descriptive analysis of the response to this event, with the aim of describe and analyze the response. All information gathering was obtained through meetings and interviews with rescuers of Brazilian Air Force, rescuers of mobile pre-hospital assistance that we call SAMU, and intrahospital staff physicians. In that 27th January, the party was organized by the undergraduates from the Agricultural College. When the fire started, there were about 1,000 young people in the nightclub, while the capacity was 700 people. At about 3:15 a.m., the band used a pyrotechnic show, and a spark reached and ignited the polyurethane foam. So, a black toxic smoke with cyanide and carbon monoxide spread rapidly. Panic set in, and people rushed looking for the only exit. And by mistake, many got into the restroom and then got stuck there. Most of the victims' bodies have been found in the bathroom. Military state police was first on scene because they were parked close to the Kiss nightclub. And the police and bystanders then called the fire department and SAMU, who arrived to the nightclub within minutes. There were many local lay volunteers at this moment trying to help victims. So within 30 minutes, we have on scene 10 ambulances, 2 firefighter trucks, 3 federal police cars, 1 state police car, 3 municipal guard vehicles, 13 military state police cars, many taxis and civilian vehicles, and another 30 minutes went by and 2 more fire trucks arrived. We still have many local lay volunteers, more than before. Sorry. So military state police job of keeping people out was difficult because many friends and family who were in panic wanted to enter the nightclub to rest their loved ones. As you can realize, they were without any suitable protective equipment. Here you can see in the picture, this man without protective equipment tried to open the nightclub. So Dr. Dornelles, who worked at SAMU, took the initiative to assume overall command of the incident on the scene, because he was the only physician who had training in how to manage this kind of situation. When he worked at a military base, he had this training. And because other responders did not have sufficient training in incident command and triage, and many of them were also emotionally stressed by the incident. Well, he designed representatives of each entity, firefighters, state police, and military state police, to receive orders and then transfer those orders to the rest of their staff. And for triage, a place in front of the nightclub across the street was organized. Triage was simple, just to feel the presence or absence of pulse. You can see here is the area for triage. And initially, victims were transported improperly, crammed into cars and ambulances by the desperate local people. The volunteers have put the victims on the floor of the ambulance, as you can see in the car picture. The rescue work ended 5:20 a.m. and the work of aftermath and removing the bodies ended 6:30 a.m. Here is the front of Kiss Nightclub. Under the decision made by the City Hall, civil police, and military police, the bodies were taken by refrigerated trucks to the Municipal Sports Center, where they have been placed side by side, as you can see in the picture, to be recognized by families. And later, the funeral was held collectively in the center. Here, blood was collected and revealed that the main cause of death was asphyxia. Not trauma, but asphyxia. It was easier, or can I say less difficult, recognize men than women, because men stay with ID at their pocket, when a woman left ID on their bags that were lost in the nightclub. At the end of first 10 hours, 234 people had died on scene. Out of those, it's estimated that some were local lay volunteers. We don't have this number exactly, but maybe 50 local lay volunteers, and it's a lot, who did not use protective equipment. We had 623 medical care of people directly involved with the event. And 145 were hospitalized. An emergency department of 6 hospitals in Santa Maria were overwhelmed. Here you can see many people at the emergency department of one of the hospitals, which the name is Hospital de Caridade. Is our main hospital in Santa Maria. Well, now talking about Incident Command Center. At about 7:20 a.m., a group of disaster management was organized at the auditorium of Hospital de Caridade in Santa Maria. Members were physicians, nurses, and administrators, municipal, state, and national members. Each member got a different function. And what had arrived at the hospital? 3 different situations: dead victims, victims with mental confusion, and people from moderate to severe dyspnea. We need many respirators because we were going to have early tracheal intubation. So, about intrahospital response, respirators were requested from neighboring cities, hospitals in low and medium complexity, first aid units of the municipality, taking out of all ambulance of Santa Maria. And at first, respirators were taken to Hospital de Caridade in Santa Maria, where the patients who needed mechanical ventilation were admitted. This is a medium complexity hospital. Still about intrahospital response to surge capacity. Well, intensive care beds were improvised to meet the immediate need for beds. By early discharge of patients from the ward to home, discharging patients from intensive care units to the ward, and reduction of space between existing beds of intensive care units and wards. In Porto Alegre, remember that is the capital of the state? At this city were provided the greatest possible number of surge beds to receive transfer patients in serious conditions. January 27, about 10 a.m., 3 patients who need mechanical ventilation were transported by ambulances to cities near Santa Maria. And here you can see in this picture the Hospital de Caridade in Santa Maria, an ambulance to transport to patients to airplane or helicopters, or bring victims to hospital. We have many ambulances. And later, patients were transported from Santa Maria to Porto Alegre by air transportation. Initially, we have 2 airplanes and 4 helicopters, transporting 2 or 3 patients at a time. Here you can see the helicopter. It's arriving in Porto Alegre in a park, municipal park, near hospitals to receive patients in Porto Alegre. About 6 p.m., Brazilian Air Force sent a larger aircraft which was adopted as an ICU. Staff of emergency physician came from Porto Alegre and accompanied 7 critical ill patients in each flight. Emergency physician is new in Brazil, is new specialty in Brazil. So in Porto Alegre was the first residency for emergency physician, and they come from Porto Alegre to accompany critical ill patients in each flight. Well, the figures of Interhospital Response. In total, 54 patients were transferred from Santa Maria to Porto Alegre. The flights began at 9:20 a.m. on January 27, and the last patient was transported on February 11. 6 hospitals in Porto Alegre received these patients. 2 hospitals were private, another was public. Out of the hospitalized patients, 8 died, all of them in Porto Alegre, which received just critical ill patients. And the last of those died almost 4 months later. Uh, 92 people among the survivors, their families and their friends, sought for psychological or psychiatric treatment from 28th January to 31st January 2013. It's a lot of people, and we need to remember that. We started to write down a log in a notebook. We recorded the name of the patients, what were their relationship with the event, for example, mother of a victim, etc., their address and phone number, the main complaint of each medical or psychological care, and the therapeutic conduct. In the beginning, because of our inexperience, we had wrote very few words for each one register. 3 days after we start that procedure, we were writing much more. And it's very important because psychological trauma or stress is very important in disaster. And analyze the response, we can observe that lack of training helped to increase the confusion on the scene. Intercity transportation was efficient aid by the fact that there is a national airbase in Santa Maria. We had an efficient inter- and intra-hospital organization, especially for surge capacity. In conclusion, the lack of an operational area on scene was the main problem in response to Kiss Nightclub fire. We have some deaths of volunteers, and it's not good. The transportation and dispositions of patients at the hospitals went extremely well after the first 10 hours. And again, about stress, psychological stress. At the moment, we can observe that among the main signs that survivors are experiencing is the emotional trauma as a result of significant life disruption, not just physical injury, and so are their families. So what we have learned most with this event? We need highly qualified staff in place, must have a centralized amount of resource available, and the resource may be available in a strategic point very well known by the staff. And it's very important having integrated leadership. And last but not least, we need a trained staff, so we have to set up an ongoing training process to face and to deal with crises and accidents, because they used to happen. And probably the most impressive 5 lessons I got from that huge and terrible event is that to deal with it, we need humbleness, human respect, teamwork with solid leadership, hard work, and deep dedication and professionalism. So, thank you very much for you that are hearing me now, and again for World Association for Disaster and Emergency Medicine that gave me this opportunity to be here talking to you about this very important subject that is disaster. Here I have my mail. Please feel free to send me anything you want. Thank you.